Hello, empty room. I'm J.E. Novotny, better known as Jen, and this is my first writing vlog. Wasn't gonna do one of these, but I decided it kind of sounded fun after all. So today I'm gonna be talking about the next project that I'm gonna be working on and how I made the decision to work on that project. At the moment, my first novel, Daughters of Orion, is stewing, marinating in the metaphorical desk drawer for about 4 months. It's going to be 4 months before I pick it up again and read it. In the meantime, some alpha beta readers are going to be looking through it to give me some feedback and some direction for where to take the next iteration of the story, which I hope will be the last iteration of the story, and then that can be published by next January. I had a whole video about that. So with this video, first I want to talk about a little bit about the 4 potential stories, what they're about, how much work I've already done on them, and then kind of what was drawing me to or leading me away from working on them. So the first one was The Sanctuary, and just the one-liner for that is, a woman is dropped off at a strange sanctuary where she becomes an initiate, helping lonely people in other places and times. This presupposes the reality of reincarnation, and this story is about the afterlife. So it's the place, the characters are in the place in between death and life, and that's actually probably too much information. Oh well, I'm not going to work on it for a really long time. You'll all forget by then. That is kind of a spoiler. That story, it has a half-finished zero draft, but I already know that there's a huge change that I have to make, and that is the character needs to age up by about 5 or 6 years, because she was 12 or 13, and now I'm thinking she really needs to be more like 18, 19. So yeah, I'm leaning towards it because it is a story. It's the one that's been in the works the longest. I did the initial writing of the zero draft. Just this specific scene that starts the story just popped in my head, and it kind of flowed from there, and it's just developed into this thing because I have so many notes and outlines and like character portraits and just so much stuff. And about at least, I think I've got like 100,000 words on it, on the zero draft at this point, and that was like half finished. So it's just this monster, which is why I'm leaning away from it. It's a lot, and I do really want to do it. I feel like it's a story that somebody needs to hear. Like, there are people out there who I think could derive comfort and maybe enjoyment, but mostly comfort from this story. And so I think it needs to be told, but not yet. Wait. The second one is, so we just had the one that's been in the works the longest. This is the one that's been in the works the shortest. The working title is Not Another Magic School, and the one-liner is, a group of disparate magic users come together to form a coven in a magic boarding school. And this derived from an idea that I had a few months ago about a world where there were 8 primary magic types. And the boarding school idea kind of developed from that within the last week. So I haven't done very much. I've only written maybe 500 words of free writing, and notes and things like that on potential characters and what powers they could use, what kind of role they could play. So I've just begun to play with this idea. And that is both why I'm leaning towards it and why I'm kind of leaning away from it, because I love the shiny new idea. I want to just dive in and make it. At the same time, there are these other projects that have already had some of my time and attention that just need more of it to be something really cool. So there's that. Also, I think with this, if I go to the trouble of developing this, it would be a pretty complex magic system and world. If I go to the trouble of developing that, I want to write multiple books with it. And I do see a way that I could do that. I'm just not sure if I'm ready to set out on that particular journey yet. And the third one is For Love of the Isles, which, here, the one-liner, well, it's a two-liner. A peasant woman falls in love with a king. Takes place on a planet of bird people. So this one was inspired by Oscar Wilde's For Love of the King, which is a sad play that you can read for free on Project Gutenberg, which is gutenberg.org. I'll probably toss a link below if I remember. And it's my version is a romance with a happy ending. But it is kind of sci-fi in that the people aren't human. They're like what humans could be if they had evolved from birds instead of primates. Like, if instead of being mammals, they were avian? I don't know the scientific word. I don't know if that's right. Science was a long time ago, kids. Yeah, so that one, I have quite a bit of the world building done. I have a lot of the character development. I've got about somewhere between 10 and 20,000 words of a zero draft. And it's, it's fun. Like, I have the entire plotted because, I mean, it's based really heavily on the Oscar Wilde play. But it's just, do I want to work on it right now? And I'm not sure that I do, because it is a romance, and I haven't really read any romances in a while, and when I was reading romances, it was pretty much Victoria Holt and Jane Austen. Like, I need to broaden my horizon a little bit, I think, if I'm going to write a primarily romantic story, especially of a novel length. So that's why I'm leaning away from that one. And then finally is the Nitty Gritty group, which, one-liner for that: a group of 6 knitters meet monthly to talk about their tests of one of the knitter's new designs. And this one will include 8 original knitting patterns. So one of the reasons I'm leaning towards this one is because of the pattern. Like, it combines my knitting love with my writing love, and it just brings them together really beautifully. And it's fun. Initially, this was conceived as like a contemporary literary fiction in a realistic setting, and all of that. But I think I have decided that that was boring for me. I don't read. It was kind of the situation with the romance novels. Like, I don't read contemporary literary fiction. I don't read realistic works very often, and when I do, they're usually 19th century French novels, and so that's a little. I mean, it's still realism, and it was contemporary at the time. Yeah. So the Nitty Gritty group, I'm really excited about the characters. It's an ensemble cast of 6 characters who will tell the story equally over, it covers a course of a year. And I have added a magical element to it where the world that they inhabit is a magical world that I had started developing for a different project. So I'm just kind of lifting that, and yeah. So those are the 4 projects, and I mean, you may have been able to tell at this point that I'm gonna do the Nitty Gritty group. That's the one that's got me most excited. It's the one that I feel has the most potential for rapid growth over the next few months, which is what I need. I need something that's going to catch me and hold me for, that amount of time until I get to the editing phase for Daughters of Orion. That's that. So now I just want to talk a little bit about what kind of my schedule and my future looks like with this project. So my goal over the next 2 weeks, I'm gonna do prep work. So I'm gonna dive in deep on setting and characters and major plot points and like just get everything ready that I can, like figure out as much stuff as I can before I dive into the writing part. Especially on the characters, because I really need to know these characters well, and the setting is going to be so important. Where initially with the literary fiction it wasn't going to be important, but now with the magical element and the different types of beings that exist in this world, there is more, the setting does matter more. So that's what I'm going to do in the next 2 weeks. Every weekday I plan to record a video, a 2-hour virtual write-in, and those will be posted to my channel. And so you can join me for those 2 hours if you want to watch it. I'll do 20-minute writing sessions with music, followed by 10-minute just chatting sessions. And we'll do that for 2 hours. So that'll be 4 20-minute writing sessions and 3 10-minute breaks. So even if you're not writing something, if you need to study or you want to read or, whatever, anything, we're having that kind of broken up between the 20 and 10. Yeah, that'll, come join me for that. If people are interested in that being done live, let me know in the comments. Right now I'm just planning on recording and not planning on streaming live, but if there is a demand for that and the times when you guys are interested in that happening makes sense for me, then we can talk about it. Yeah, so that's it. That's everything. I'm really excited to work on the Nitty Gritty group, and I cannot wait to dive into it over the next weeks with you all. So look for that first video. Look for that first video. Have a great day.